Emmanuel. We want to also set the ball rolling to say that those of you struggling to participate, you can send your SMS. I kickstart with you, Kiven. Last week, 1,000 women converged in Yaoundé, first of its kind in Cameroon, to hear the mothers coming up. Cameroon is faced with Boko Haram insurgency in the north of the country, and the Seleka rebels in the east, and also plagued with the Anglophone crisis and other crises plaguing the nation, like political tension, divide, tribalism, regionalism, nepotism, hate speech on the rise in the nation. And of course, we have the bitterness of the diasporans and those who just hate the nation for just hating the nation. A lot of cacophony as far as the nation is concerned. What were discussed? Why the conference in itself first, and before moving to the discussions?
Like you rightly said before, then let me just greet Emmanuel. My first time seeing him, first time seeing face to face. Why the conference? When you just mentioned some of the issues plaguing our nation right now, we have moved. At first, when we were talking about just Boko Haram crisis, it was a united Cameroon against one enemy, and we also had in the east the Seleka rebels. That's another people. The nation was united against these people encroaching our land, and now we have crisis in between us. We are killing ourselves, and the consequences are mostly felt by the women, the young girls out there. If you look at media reports, you will hear about girls being raped, children being killed, mothers suffering, mothers being killed too, mothers violated. All of those things, push these women to come together. And this is not like it's the first thing, the first group that is convening. This is like coming to join the voices of other women. Groups. Yeah, other women who have been calling for peace in the country, because women can't continue to sit down and see how the nation is going it's falling, because if the women are not fine, if the children are not okay, I don't know how the future is going to look like. So women can't sit and keep burying their sons, keep burying their husbands, because the La République soldier, let me use that word, La République soldier you see today and say is an enemy, is someone's child. The Amazonian soldier you see today and you call enemy is another person's child. So when you rejoice over any corpse that is being killed, it means that you're adding to the pain of a mother. So that is why women say, no, we need to join our voices, join the other women who have been championing this cause, even if it doesn't yield like an immediate effect. Yeah. Tomorrow, I'm betting you that I was talking to one historian that tomorrow you'll be looking for Brenda to tell you what happened at the convention because you want to complete your book. That is how it's going to happen. The little efforts, the voices we make, we can't just put them aside. We need to continue raising these voices.
Thank you, Kiven. I'll stay with you again before coming to Doom Emmanuel. We've had a lot of contradictions as far as this conference is concerned. When the women came together, a lot of noise went on the corridor, people describing it as the second major national dialogue. When you guys were in Yaoundé discussing on the way forward, hearing issues like these, what came to your mind?
The first thing is that people compared the call for peace to what we had at the major national dialogue. What these women did, what these women wanted to achieve is to bring all women on board so that we can have one voice. One voice in the sense that you crying over your children, more than 4,000 or 5,000 people killed here. You should also know that there are some mothers crying over this number of children this way who have been killed in this region and in this place, or even the tension that we live here with us in Douala because of the intertribal or hate speech.
Mothers have their sons in prison.
In prison, we still have children in prison. Yes, all of those things. So this was for mothers to come on board, meaning that I bring you from this place, I bring you from this region, even if you are affected, because we cannot say that you're not affected. Those of us some of us who are in the littoral, the center, and all the other parts of the country, you can't say you're not affected somehow. When you look around your neighborhood, you will see somebody from the north, you will see somebody from the northwest, the southwest. All of those people, they are all internally displaced persons, especially in the littoral region. You see all of these children hanging around. They can't go to school. They're poorly fed. You're worried about all of those things. So this convention, it was for women to come all together, raise their voice, and tell government, you need to sit up. You're slow in tackling this issue. We need peace in the country. And actually, there were proposals being made. Like when we're asking for, we want to see more women in the dialogue process, because there are times women cannot be mostly affected by a crisis, and then when you're drawing up a decision or when you're doing your look at the last major national dialogue, what percentage of women attended it? Well, you cannot be doing a dialogue like that with people who are most affected in the crisis, and you don't have them at the head of the decision-making process. So women are calling on government that whatever you're trying to do, know that women should have a place, a top place. We're not just there to clap hands, to dance and cheer you up while you dialogue. Women want to be at the forefront of it. We want so that when we take decisions, we know that if as a mother I'm taking a decision, it's going to affect positively or negatively a mother from the west, the south, or all other parts of the country.
Okay, thank you very much. Dimum, you listen to Kmer. I want to get your opinion. You have a civil society, and the women, she said, is not just to end the Anglophone crisis as we started the program last week, because we understand that Cameroon is faced with lots of challenges, lots of problems. These people call it tribalism is on a record high. You hear this person, we have prisoners from political prisoners because they were manifesting. This one is saying the nation is Vamal. This one is saying Vuki Vamal. And the north region of the country, human rights issues to being raised. And northwest and southwest issues being raised. The northwest against the southwesterners against the northwest. A lot of issues that so they converge to look at this issue and how they can harmonize and chart a way forward for Cameroonians to live in peace.
Well, Tama Jarvis, it rather gets me more confused. You know, I thought it means that the perception I had about the women meeting in Yaoundé was a wrong perception. Because I had earlier limited my thinking to the solving of the Nozo crisis, which of course is the immediate and of so much priority to Cameroon at the time. But then when she says it was to solve the problems of Cameroon all, it becomes more complex. It becomes more complex because
it was not to solve the problem.
Propose and to look for the various.
Yeah,
to focus on
it was
the
to
path
propose.
to peace.
Yeah, it means that in that conference, they talked about the anti-Balakas in the east.
Exactly.
They talked about Boko Haram.
Yeah.
They talked about tribalism. They talked about Anglophone crisis. It means that a bit of every crisis rocking Cameroon was touched.
And also the political hate.
Yeah, the hate.
Yeah, and the hate speech.
And divide.
Of course. Now, my question is, how many days did they take to discuss proposals on almost each of these topics? I put a question mark there. Then the choice of the place. You know, Cameroon is suffering from a catalog of problems because Yaoundé has become the heaven of Cameroon.
It's the capital city. It's the capital city.
And I cannot be sick in Yaoundé and you discuss the therapy to my treatment in... I cannot be sick in Bamenda. You discuss the therapy to my treatment in Yaoundé and I get healed. But the initiative itself should be held by any right-thinking person. That one should be on a line. If I don't say that, I will be dishonest to myself. First of all, I have to applaud these women. Despite the fact that we know that their being there could end up as the monologue that ended up in Yaoundé. Despite the fact that we all know, and it is not debatable, that they came with very good ideas, but those they were proposing these ideas to are on vacance permanently. Now, even if they came with a basket full of beautiful ideas, and at the end of the day, envelopes change hands, because that is the sole name of Cameroon. Ideas in Cameroon can be bought over with envelopes, and it dies a natural death. Are these women? Because today I was not supposed to be on your platform. Remember, I'm here because you struggled to reach out to many of them and they did not come. Of which I thought it was a golden opportunity for them to elaborate this initiative through the various TV stations and the radio stations in this country, Mr. Tamai. So that when they come today, those women who did not follow it up will get it from the horse's mouth. That would have been another way of sensitizing the women population.
So that in subsequent
time, the mass will gain volume. But regrettably, they are not there. So, madam, I appreciate you first of all for taking the courage to be in the studio. It's a good initiative. But my problem is the politicking in it. It might not be coming from you people, the initiators. But at the backstage, because you know Cameroon operates more from the backstage than the front stage. From the backstage, are you sure that the forebearers of this initiative will not be corrupt in the long run? Are you sure that this idea will take a resilient right to the end of it? And then I ask, what next? We can only judge the beauty, the handsomeness of this initiative after how next.
Okay, you raised an issue here that you had a problem with the venue,
yes.
the location Yaoundé, and that also you talked about the fact that those who this idea are supposed to be channeled to are on vacation. But we understand that we have the head of government, who is His Excellency Chief Dr. Joseph Dangote, is present, and we have the cabinet. I'm sure that he was represented. Yes, he was represented, and memorandum was handed over, and remember, it's a suggestion and these are proposals that the women made.
Before you give her the microphone, please. You know it's not my habit to take the microphone, but we have permission.
Yeah, we are talking. It's nice we have the argument so that we can better understand ourselves.
Jarvis, like I said, these women, even though it is coming a little late, because it is often said, if you want things done, give it to the women. If you want things said, give it to the men.
And that applies only when you want these women to go get killed. That doesn't apply when in your Jangi group, you're selecting your voting members to lead the group. You don't put women ahead of it. When your voting members in your group as executive board, how many presidents have you had as women in your local Jangi group?
Well, madam, you see, even nature does not support the statement you are saying. God himself did not make it. What is giving you people the courage today is just the fact that there is something called human rights, gender rights, or whatsoever that's equated us, and now we can talk on equal length. But that's not where I am.
All right.
You see, I am saying that I was not sending you people to the streets because there are women and the police. In the police corps, there are women in the military corps and the Janam corps. And you can find your statistics and tell me if up to 5 women have been killed since the war started in Nozo. That is to tell you that women are absent. Now, but when we count the number of military personnel that have been killed, 95% of them are men, which means that they are the ones active at the war front. I was instead like saying that.
That's why we have the consequences.
I was saying that if our government was not the kind of comedy government that we have, they would have used women at this particular point in time. Because no matter how angry a woman can be, they always have a soft spot when it comes to looking blood and losing life, because they know the pain it takes to put forth a child. But to say that the Prime Minister's office was represented there, I don't dispute it. They are always represented everywhere. Even in this studio, they are represented, but their impact is never felt.
How are they represented in the studio?
They are following.
I have some
She is there.
questions to answer.
They are following. So, Mr. Tamai, look, I don't want her to downplay the importance of this initiative. From the way some of us were watching, we can criticize it from a distance, but we still have some steam for that initiative.
Yes.
Okay.
But if you don't adjust your intellectual communication on this initiative, it will quickly tell some of us how it is going to end.
Okay, so
which we don't want to take
Kivem, you want to answer my question
Yes.
now. His problem is the choice, the venue, and also talking about the fact that the women are a bit shy to embrace the media, because we were expecting that there will be a media tour 1 week immediately after, a media tour inundate all the different media platforms to say, hey, this is what we discussed. These are to kill away the myth that people have in their mind, and to reawaken other women who are sleeping and thinking that something good might not come out of it.
The first thing about it holding in Yaoundé is that when I saw reactions online, I knew that most people who spoke are based in the northwest and southwest, and to them, since the focus was just the Anglophone crisis, they actually felt that it should be held in one of these regions, northwest or southwest. Now, Jarvis, this project is a sponsored project. It's a project that was initiated by a group of civil society organizations, women civil society organizations. It got the sponsorship, and then it's not a project that's going to end today. The first step of the project was to bring women on board the same vision, which is asking for peace. That's the first part of the project. And then holding in Yaoundé, since it touches almost all the places I've listed, and these people and the other nations who don't have battles and the rest now, they are hosting people from those crisis affected areas, so they are somehow involved. We've seen situations where when IDPs just started coming here, they had a lot of difficulties merging, because people were some were arrested. We had mass arrests sometimes, because we learned that a group of these people are in a particular quarter. Bonaberi, for instance, is noted for that. So the choice of Yaoundé is to bring all of these people to the capital city. Yaoundé is the capital of Cameroon. You couldn't think that, how would the people of the north would have felt if you're taking them to Bamenda?
Why not Douala?
Yes, those are the two options, Douala and Yaoundé.
People were expecting that Douala
and Yaoundé. No, Bafoussam we've had, it's not we've had attacks in the west. Separatist attacks have taken place in the west. Bafoussam is not as safe as Douala. It could be Douala. Yes. Two places, Douala or Yaoundé. And that's why even most workshops that take place in Cameroon these days, there are two places, Douala or Yaoundé, because that is believed to be somehow the most safest areas, and the place where you can have those more than 1,500 women who were actually there, because we had different kinds of women, political leaders, and the rest who were also there, invited or not. And then the next question he talked about, I think that was about the fact that women shy away.
Yes.
All right. I would not like to. He's not completely wrong. But believe me, when I was at that conference, you will bet that most media who showed up for that conference, they had content. Because any woman you met there was ready to talk to you why she was there and why what she expects from it. And it's true that after this, we had women talking in various media platforms. We saw them. I'm sure, Emmanuel, you also saw some women talking on. So it's true that amongst 1,000 women that attended that conference, you might have just 200 will be able to speak out.
Okay.
Yes, but that doesn't stop us. We need to keep encouraging them.
I want to ask you this question, Kmer. Those who are watching, a lot of people watching us on Facebook asking us how different is this women conference, and some are stating that the modalities of selection was not okay. That key women like Madame Edith Kawala, other women who are vocal, who have been championing the cause of peace, were not invited, and that letters were not even officially given to political parties to send their women representatives to discuss on issues affecting the nation. And so to them, they feel like it was more of a safari trip than the issues that were to be discussed, because Madame Mispa of the CRM was not also represented. Those are women. And so why, we want to know whether a particular criteria used to select these women, so that let's wipe away the myth people have in their
Those
mind.
are women I appreciate a lot. I admire the courage. You know me very well. When it comes to anything Noran, anything Kawala.
To add, they say the women of the non-state armed groups were not represented. That is the Amazonian women were not even called for a Skype conference to say, okay, since we are discussing all the conflicts in Cameroon, inclusively, including the
we are discussing, we are calling for peace. We are calling for peace. We are not telling government that this is the form of state you want you to put in place. We are telling government that the children, we are tired of seeing our kids dying. End these hostilities, and if you want to discuss your form of state or whatever you want to discuss, bring women on board so that we'll know how this thing is going to look like, the impact of this thing. Because if we sit there, we'll know exactly how it's going to affect the female race. That is what these women are saying. And now, going about the political party, like I said, I actually respect Nuran, I respect people like Kawala and the rest. But I bet you, if these women gave letters to political parties, we would have had a rally there. And you people would have been the first people to go out there and say it's a political thing.
Yeah.
Because imagine you gave this invitation to CPDM win Yaoundé. Imagine what would have happened. The dance groups would have shown up, SDF rappers and everything would have been there, and the rest. So they wanted, the fact is that the sponsor is, first of all, doesn't support any party. The sponsor is a German NGO, and they are out to support these women to fight for peace, to advocate for peace. And just the fact that, as you see, many of these women, they go out there, they don't want to associate themselves with any political party. They want to actually call for peace, you know, without any links.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that we never had CPDM or SDF or
there were these invitations given privately.
Let me explain about the invitations. The invitations that like I explained earlier, this convention was an idea of a coalition of CSOs. So when first wanted these,
just to let our viewers understand,
yes,
CSO is civil
society organizations. So when in planning this meeting, it was 6 months. It took them 6 months to plan for this. So when they sat together, they said, okay, each CSO or CSO is going to give this number of people to attend the convention. And CSO work a lot of women on the ground. You're talking about let's say non-state armed groups.
Yes, that the women of the Amazonian movement were even supposed to call so that
look at all of us in this studio. If I'm sleeping with an Amazonian, how will you know? If it's married to Amazonian Defense Force, how will you know? How will you know? In that hall, there was a woman beside me in that hall who was insisting that she has to go for her. There's some elections. Elections. She's CPTM. She's part of a CSO. So how will you know?
I want to understand this. You people talk about resolving the Anglophone crisis. Not so. Now, there are key stakeholders, the women arm of these same guys are agitating. We understand that maybe the conference would have just suggestions from your own end.
So do you think that the Amazonian leaders were not following this conference?
They did not give
do you think that they did not see did
you invite them?
They did not see. We invited women.
Women, yes, that was what I was saying. That
women who are in these areas,
regardless of their political affiliation, but it was individually.
Women.
Was the diaspora?
No. You come. I'm coming back. I will come to you later.
There's a call for peace, right? It's a call for peace. It was not a dialogue.
Yes.
That's the problem that we are misconstruing this thing with the major national dialogue to come together.
Okay, this is what we have. This is what we are suggesting.
And they don't start. And can come out and say we are rejecting your call for peace. This one can come out and say no, we are rejecting. Like the other women you said, key leaders who were not mobilized. I want to say this thing, Jarvis. I think that in as much as women we come together, we support each other, and we fall under this gender equality thing or gender feminism and the rest. I just want to say I'm kind of disappointed with the fact that we are all facing the consequences of a war, and there is a call for peace. See, I saw women who were not invited for that convention, but they came. Do you know why? They are selfless women. Okay. They came with a good heart.
Okay.
It's just like Kawala and a group of women, 22 women, they write to the IMF, and then you go and create your own group and say we are standing against them. All we want is peace.
Regardless of the means used. Regardless of it. Result, you want one result.
You want result.
Which road you take.
The Northwest Southwest Women Task Force, that much. We still saw same with some other women who went and said they were being paid.
Okay. We'll be coming back to you. Dinga Ivo from Naka. Dinga Ivo from Naka, the Association of Smart Women of Cameroon. That's how I can describe these women. How many of those women came into Yaoundé for that conference from Gabu, Pini, Kwakwa, Kolofata, to say that some of you are good in the Bafia dance are the initiators of this conference. Despite the good message you pass through, please your message is
it's okay. I want to say that I interviewed a lot of people from that area, because when I was talking about the attacks, the Boko Haram attacks, we saw women's ears that were chopped off. We saw many young guys. There are some 2 boys who wrote a message and then they were taken and locked up because they gave a fake message.
Just for fun.
Their mothers. So women came to that conference with those from the extreme north. They came with some of the things that they have lost in the war that's going on in their area. I bet you if you were there, you would think about the pains that you have for your brothers and sisters in the Northwest and Southwest, and you look at theirs and okay. It's too heavy to bear.
Steven, we're coming back to you. Good day, dear panelists. It is just too much on us. We just lost 2 able Menjong youth last night at A2 Street in Pamenda, shot by unknown gunmen. Please, we will go nowhere with unfruitful dialogue Hillary Mufo in Bamenda. The women, Emmanuel, these women are charting a way forward. They are not forcing their position. They said women came in from different areas of the country to discuss on these. Do you still believe that something meaningful can be taken from this from the conference and be implemented to resolve the conflict? She has answered your question as to Yaoundé. Why Yaoundé?
No, I was no longer there. I was no longer there because just the fact that it took place in Yaoundé was already having a very big question mark. And so the question mark cannot be erased, even with the most difficult. If we are not very careful, Tama, the women initiative will end up as Fumban, tripartite, national monologue, and the rest. There is no gainsaying that it was a good initiative. But how good and ready are they able to go through with this project? Because when I listen to what she speaks, she has said a few things. It is sponsored by a German NGO. If that German NGO withdraws their sponsorship today, will you people hold another women's national peace talk? Question mark. Now, if it was going to be inclusive, I would have loved that even the Minister of Women Empowerment and
the family,
whom we see them often only the day that they are nominated and they're dancing to thank the head of state, She was there?
Yeah, she was there.
In person?
She came during the launching ceremony. She came she was handed, along with the Prime Minister's representative, Madame Dobeta.
You see the problem with this county, Tama, representation.
No, but the Minister of Women Empowerment was on seat. She was there.
We are talking about peace. Peace is not achieved by decree or by representation.
Exactly.
Peace is a product of saying the truth in love, in harmony, and accepting. I don't know whether in your agenda of proposition you also let the powers that be, even though they are on vacance, so that if they are coming back on vacance, they should know that.
What do you mean by vacance?
No,
the government is still functioning.
Jarvis.
The Prime Minister, who is the head of government, the Secretary General, the President of the Republic, the President is still receiving his daily briefing.
The CRM could have been protests, would have taken place with people and vacance.
Yes. So yeah, I want you to clarify me on this
issue of
vacance.
Jarvis. Tell me 2 areas of life in Cameroon this afternoon that are moving as they were supposed to be moving. If the people were active, then I should tell you that they are not on vacance. I will accept. I don't want to start naming them. When these people, I was saying something. I don't know whether in your agenda of proposition you also propose to those who matter that justice was supposed to be first a product of peace. That peace is a product of justice.
Peace is
because
justice.
if there is no justice, peace cannot come. Why were you people in Yaoundé? Because you have seen a lot of blood spilled over everywhere. You have lost loved ones. We have cried. We saw our mothers half naked, the Takumbans in Norwest. It did not signal a message to Yaoundé. We saw them on the street with the peace plans, begging for peace. We saw our grandmothers burying the young ones,
and
Reverend Sisters digging graves, which is a sacrilege. With all this, it did not still move our government. Don't you people think that just sitting in Yaoundé, filing proposals and giving to the same people who have rejected proposals from the whole world, that is it going to do the magic? I don't think. The initiative remains good, but to whom it concerns, I'm afraid nothing will come out of it. It will be another sing-song. It will be an occasion that ended up maybe with a gala, because in Cameroon, when people are dying in Norwest and they hold a union in Yaoundé, it ends up with a gala instead of ending up with prayers for the lost soul.
Unfortunately, there was no gala this time.
Even if there was no gala, I am still one of those who believe that if the initiative could go through and bring the needed peace, you know, wisdom has it that when you are in dire need of peace, you can shake hands even with the devil. If you are very sure that by shaking hands with the devil, he will give us the needed peace.
That's what peace is all about.
And where you people, I don't know whether it was deliberate or it was a mistake. We know that there are also women very founded in this in the crisis that are happening in Cameroon. I don't know why you people did not also bring them on board. You would have contacted people like Akoson, Pauline Daila to get their own views, whether they want peace. What do they think can be done for peace to come back immediately? There are many of them. They are Wasu Mispas. They are already influential people. The Kawalas, they are all people who have been crying about peace in Cameroon. Even if they are crying from the political angle, you people came in now from a neutral angle was to me, I think it was the best time for you people to bring them in all. And then neutralize their political stance.
It will never have happened that way.
Thank you for confirming that.
Yes,
it has failed from the beginning, because
never happened that way.
If now you are sending your proposals and you already said that these are bad seats. We don't want this bad seats to be part of this.
That's the problem with you calling it bad seats. That's the problem with you calling it bad seats.
It should be.
I have said that it was a non-political event.
No, but you have told us there were civilian people there who neutralized.
No, you didn't get me. You didn't get me very well.
The position was that people were invited of different places regardless of their political affiliations.
Yes.
Because I raised the issue why political persons were not represented. I said no, they invited people based on individual, not on party affiliations. That they never wanted political rally come together.
It's understood. But I think that even those politicians, those politicians were supposed to be inclusive, because at the end of the day, where these proposals are going, it's in the hands of the politicians. And whether you like it or not, it is the political class that will have the final decision on your proposal. So it would have added more weight if you brought in these women who are already on the political scene crying for the same peace that you are crying for.
Exactly, that's what I want to tell you. We have women who are already doing a lot on peace. They from their angles. It doesn't stop any other Jangi group to sit and say we want peace. It is just joining their voices to the women. A woman's voice is a woman's voice. And then you also talked about it's going to come out just like the Shepherdite, the Fumban conference and the rest. Okay, let me ask you a question. How many times did Moses go to Pharaoh? And that was God. It was not even the women. God Almighty asked Moses, tell Pharaoh that I want my people to go. Leave my people. How many times did Moses go there and Pharaoh said, no, I will not leave your people? So the fact that he went there the first time and he refused did not stop him from going there. He kept going there. Women should not sit back, fold their arms and say, we are giving up.
When Esther fast and pray and went and met the king, and the king reversed his decision,
Abraham,
when the king was supposed to annihilate an entire population.
Abraham, Sarah, how many years did they stay without a kid? And it's God. So what I'm trying to say here is that even if sometimes you know that you let me say the future, you're trying to be saying, okay, fine, this thing might not succeed. It doesn't stop women from saying we are tired. Okay, I bet you tomorrow you will come out and say women are not doing anything.
Let me take on these messages. Hello, Mr. Jarvis. If the women are at least allowed to meet and talk, then let us allow them to talk each month, because Cameroonians have too many problems to challenge. Even yesterday, just for soccer tournament in Ligue Belgium, Cameroonians fought each other just because of the ongoing crisis in Cameroon. We need real dialogue, even held by women. Max from Germany, that Cameroonians we fought in.
We want you to do a genuine dialogue, and this genuine dialogue you are talking about, we want to see women.
Yeah, I was coming to
the
fallout. This one with vous invitez que les hommes de. We are fighting against tribalism and hate, and of course, I gave invitations. Open. I announced last week Sunday that those who may want to take part in this discussion, you can contact me on the numbers on your screen, and I said we are going to look at the women's conference, and so I invited persons, and if they are not here, it's not like I did not give invitation. The media is free and open. We welcome every ideologies and ideas that will be constructive, as long as you take responsibility for your actions.
Jarvis, I just want to tell everybody, a woman listening that, or everybody listening that I was just a participant.
Yes,
I'm
I was
not
coming
of the
to
planning
that.
committee.
Yeah, I was coming to that. Now, Madam Kiven, let's look at now the deliberations. How were they handled? Because he raised an issue that he doesn't know how many days you guys had, and how many days that were particular topics were discussed. So, how were the deliberation handled? You were a participant?
As a participant, the first thing I noticed is that, like I said, bringing together the women, so that these women can see what each person is going through from his or her own angle. And yes, those women from Kolofata were there, and yes, those women from Moral Extreme, all of those areas, they were there. Okay, now when you bring all of these women on board, for the first day, we saw they were trying to raise this emotion this emotion of hurt, of lost emotions felt by these women. Jarvis, imagine all of those pictures that we used to see. Imagine those things were brought in together for us to relieve all of those moments. Apart from the women whose ears were chopped off, we saw the Ngabu, those children. The justice is still pending for those children and women. We saw incidents like the Kumba case. We saw the Selika rebel attacks and the rest. All of those incidents was just to awaken women that you are sitting when these people need us to come together and push government to take a major and genuine a dialogue or effort so that this thing can come to an end. And then we also had testimonies, because sometimes when you hear from media, you think it is cooked up. You need to hear them, see what people say about things that happen to them in the East, even as IGPs. As an IGP, I also have my own story to tell. So, and those who have run away right from interior parts of the Northwest and Southwest region to be where they are today, we have all of those things. We had prisoners, all of those testimonies. And then we had inspirations from women from different countries who have relieved wars, crises, like what we are going through, giving their testimonies, encouraging women that this is the time you need to join efforts, peace efforts. Like I said, I keep calling on women, whether it is coming from which angle, as long as it is a call for peace, join your voice to it.
What?
And then the next day,
yes,
the last day of the convention, we had committees. These committees were shared into 4 groups. It was about, that is where women came up with these proposals. You hear from the statements that they produced at the end of the convention and handed it over to the minister and the prime minister. So all of these things were discussed, especially our role as women in peace efforts. The need for dialogue and the rest, those are the things that were discussed during, amongst the things that were discussed during the last day. So each committee proposed ideas, and it was put together and finally handed over to approved and handed over to the minister.
What was your committee? And basically
the role of the woman in the peace process.
Okay. Deliberations, were they frank, genuine, or were they suppressed? Were people allowed to speak freely?
I want to really encourage most of those women who attended this conference, because I saw women who were so brave. I want to bet you that in that hall, there were people that I saw dressed in normal attires, but you and I know that they were not just people. They were spies. But it didn't stop a woman to say that we are tired of this thing. Your efforts, these efforts that I've been doing so far is not good. We need to call for a genuine dialogue. It doesn't stop women from saying out their mind. It was debatable. Women just had to talk, and give in their suggestions during all of those working committees. It was open. There was nothing like somebody trying to suppress your voice. It's an open thing. It's not like it's a political thing. You can't invite a woman to come and talk and you suppress her voice.
Okay, let's take on some messages, and those watching us on Facebook. We have numerous messages to those watching us on Facebook. This person, Prince Dikum said, did you invite Amazonian women? This other one, Gilbert Salo, said, don't read any French message on this platform, Mr. Jarvis. Thank you very much. Ayuk and Echo say it is highly stupid to mix politics with religion. And Ken Teofil, special greetings to Ndimu Emmanuel. Those women seem not to know the type of government in Cameroon that we have. This one's Max says happy Sunday. Mr. Leo is Mr. Jarvis presenting now. This other one says Fondong Richard, Mr. Ndium is a realistic and a very smart speaker. Kudos, bro. Pero Slim, peace can only work where the parties involved accept their wrongs. Justice be for peace, but justice first before peace. We need need to fear God. Mr. Paul is your message is right. Chilling Tan White Soli Makosa says, is this guy a lawyer? He has absolutely destroyed those women. This one week, you remember that people are invited based on their individual affiliations. We want to appreciate those of you watching us on Facebook. We want to say happy Sunday to you all watching us on Facebook, taking your time out there to watch us. Let me come to you, Divum Emmanuel, before coming to Madame Kiven on some of the fallout, like the resolutions, because people are agitating. We've had people on Facebook asking that what were the resolutions. They are eager. They are eager about the resolution, and some asking whether the proposals that were reached out, the resolutions that were reached out, were forwarded to the different factions of the conflict to have copy as far as the resolutions. Diwum Emmanuel, you want to react to what Madam Kiven said, or I just post you my question directly?
No, go ahead with your question.
Now, Diwum, this is coming at the time which you've described that is seemingly late. What do you mean by seemingly late? Because we saw the women in Kumba when the students were killed. The women agitated in Kumba and again went down crying. We saw the women at the Independence Square in Boya. That's the Southwest, something like Southwest Women,
Southwest Women, Northwest Women Task
Southwest
Force.
Women, Northwest Task Force. We've seen Madame Sali active on the field. Pashibel is there active on the field. We have a lot of these women risking their lives, and yet both sides, we've seen both sides too of the belligerents attacking the women. We've seen women being killed, kidnapped by both sides, and at the end of the day, the women are still getting the order. The men seemingly are there calling names. Either the men are either describe each other, privileged slaves, sellout, blackleg,
I would have loved to go to the Northwest Southwest Task Force. When those women march, what did they say? Sellout, blacklegs. They paid them. The Women Convention, picture parade. Kawala and the 22 and the 21 other women, they said show off.
Yes. Now all this.
What do you want?
Tama is, you have done a good job to enumerate them. And when you enumerate such conferences or such meetings, it comforts me once more on my position that what happened in Yaoundé was a window dressing. If you and Madame Brenda can confirm and attest that after all those ones, black leg, show off was still called and nothing was done. So what is the concrete proof that this one that just ended, something will be done? It comforts my position to say clear and succinct that this one, let me lighten the strength a bit by using the word may. This one may just end up as the previous ones have ended. Because these women, they have the power of the ideas in them to initiate and propose. But those who have the powers to implement are on vacance. I'll keep saying it whether you like it or not. Those who have the power to implement are on vacance. They have been on vacance for 39 years. What do you think that what was proposed to them by women in 2 days is what they are going to take this time serious? Tama, we have serious problems.
No, but the meeting is
The
not
thing
just
is that,
in 2 days.
that is it. The thing is that women should not stop, Mr. Emmanuel. You can
No,
confirm with me. We shouldn't stop.
I am saying that we shall judge the beauty, the handsomeness of this initiative from what next.
Okay.
If I ask a question here, though you did not clarify,
I'm ready to answer.
I don't know if the German organization that sponsored this initiative declares this afternoon that we are withdrawing our sponsorship, will you people still have the courage? Will you people still have the material know-how, the human know-how to come back together and forge ahead this initiative? Now, as you are forging ahead the initiative, what becomes of it if the government says what you people propose was not of our taste? We already, because it's a sing song now that any idea that comes up, they tell you that special status was accorded to Northwest, Southwest. Teachers were deployed to the north because
the deployment of teachers are region of origin.
No, I'm not. I mean to the north, up north, where there was an acute shortage of teachers. They will tell you that to this effect, special status was accorded to Northwest and Southwest. Route number this was relaunched in Gaundere, and that, because we are looking at it from a point where you are talking about the crisis in Cameroon, not crisis in the Northwest and Southwest.
Yeah.
What will you people, which other alternative are you people putting in place to see that it's a success? Because the success will only be when we see peace, because the objective is peace.
Visible.
No, as of now, it is not yet visible.
I mean to say it is something that you can't hide.
Yeah,
when
you can't hide. When there will be peace, all of us will enjoy it, and we'll talk peace, we'll dance peace, we'll drink peace, we'll sleep peace. Now, if these people decide to call your leaders behind, because that's how it will work. I'm saying this one without water in my mouth. You are of very good faith that the initiative will go, but you have people that are the vision bearers of this initiative. One day, don't be surprised that the government calls them, the spies who were there, told them that, look, you see, you have brought up something, take this envelope of 1-2 million, tell those your sisters to stop that initiative. Or you sing the songs, you say everything, all the proposals goes inside the cupboard. Because in the national dialogue, there were proposals from the civil society, religious denominations, political parties. But none of those proposals, no political party or civil society ever proposed special status to the national dialogue, madam. And I stand to be corrected. They came there with their agenda. So as you people are going now, you are of good hope, good faith. But the people who are charged to implement, they don't have that good faith, madam. So I'm sorry. We should rather be thinking
when you talk about good faith.
Well, you cannot be judging people when you I think you don't even know some of them.
When you talk about
some of who?
Some of the people who are the flag bearers, the planning committee and the rest.
Because I don't think money is their problem.
I think you should.
No,
look. Like you, when you talk, it seems as if you already know some of the major people.
We know people in this country that used to speak like Jesus Christ, that have come to save Cameroon. Immediately their lips were sealed. Till date, I don't want to cite the name because I've been citing. Till date, we have not heard a word from them, madam. In Cameroon, very few are incorruptible, and those who are incorruptible refuse to go to initiative development because they know that there, if you refuse to be corrupted, something dangerous dangles over your head. That's why we have peace brokers in this country who have decided to stay aloof. Okay. They have decided to be silent because they are afraid to join an initiative that will not go through. And when they refuse to be brought over, they know what awaits.
Let me take on some messages, then we'll come to resolutions that we reach at, so that you tell us, I think, some of the resolutions that the women arrived at, and possibly the way forward as to the first women conference. A lot of you watching us on Facebook, we acknowledge you, we acknowledge your concern that you're raising, we acknowledge and we respect your opinion, as long as we also urge that you respect the opinions of those who are here talking. Jarvis, please ask the women, the women who sponsored the conference, to whom were they addressing their concerns to? How he who pays the piper dictates the tune. This is coming from Cho Isaac in Yaoundé. This one with greetings to you all in the studio. My question goes to female activists. Just the national dialogue, the women national dialogue held. You guys discussed on the ongoing war. Few days later, we are still experiencing killings on both sides. Civilians. What is the way forward? What is the fruit of the dialogue? Or is Is it also a deadlock like the major national
that's
dialogue?
The problem.
It's coming from
an advocacy for peace and a dialogue. People should learn the difference between those terms.
You want to react on that before I continue the messages?
Yeah, I will just say that. What's his name?
It's coming from Aku, Jess Aku from Boya.
Okay, Jess. The thing is that I think you lack some knowledge on what the convention was all about. It's an advocacy for peace. It was not a dialogue. It was an advocacy for peace. Put women on the same platform so that they together can raise their voices and advocate for peace.
Okay. Hello, House of Commons. I don't think government can change something because of the meeting by the women, except they for the government, except they are for the government. And this other one reads, Raul writing us from Bamenda. Congratulations, Mr. Emmanuel, for the wonderful point and awareness. This other one reads, it says, good afternoon, Mr. Jarvis and the panelists. I am Eli Divine writing from Victoria. What I want to say is that the women will try. They will cry foul as they have done. But what is certain is that all what they are doing will be around the ears of the regime, like throwing water on the deck's back, because they will never be listened to. I see this their move as a complete
failure. It could be. It could not be. It can be.
Let's respect the people's opinion and ideas. It's not easy to come up with such an initiative.
The thing is that Jarvis, excuse me, I would just like to say something. When you listen to all of those messages that are coming from men, I want to ask you, you said those men are fighting. How many of these men have gone and out here to say, we are tired of this killing? How many conventions have men called for? How many Jangi groups or CSO owned by men have called for a meeting like that to advocate for the peace or to do something more than the dialogue? Why is it that when it comes to women, you start seeing pictures, beauty parade, about what, sell out and the rest? When you can't make any effort, your brothers are killing. Why don't you call your brother and say, brother, please, drop your gun, silence your gun, like the UN is clamoring for?
Okay.
Why don't you do that? When the women try to do any little effort, you criticize from day one.
It's been hushed.
The tackle by women go out, you talk. This one go out, you talk. Is it because it has to do with women?
Okay. Good day. Good afternoon, Jarvis. I am enjoying your program. My question to the women is that the conference was on all the problems affecting Cameroon. Then why did they not invite women from the north, from Kawala, Ambazonia women, also top women from CPDM party? At least we would have had a great discussion to take to their various homes and communities. Gilbert writing from Boya, he said, read my message. I've read the message now, Gilbert.
I want to tell Gilbert that when you're in a hall of more than 1,000 women, you don't know who is Ambazonia or who is not Ambazonia, if the person is coming from the northwest or southwest region.
Unfortunately, our sisters are very innocent about French Cameroon system. Some of the women leaders clearly said on my media prime that they are trying to help the government achieve peace. But peace is what we need. Maybe
even if it means going to our brothers in the bush and begging them to stop it, is it not
shaking hand with the devil?
The devil,
as you know that
you want the peace.
Okay, Madam Kiven, let me come back to you. I want us to look at the fallout of this conference. What were some of the resolutions arrived at for those who are watching us? Because it shows that people are really they expect a lot from the women. They know the women can do something based on their reaction, like they're expecting. Yeah. What were the fallout and discussions?
The first thing is that, like I've been saying about one of the things that the women ask for. The women are asking for peace, and through peace they mean ending hostilities, because that's how we have been affected, immediately, permanently, and then give meaning to the African Union campaign to silence the gun in Africa in order to achieve a conflict-free Africa, prevent genocide, which is something that we have seen, make peace a reality for all, and rid the continent of wars, violent conflicts, human rights violations, which is justice and humanitarian disasters. That's one of the things. That's why this points to the fact that it's not just limited to the Anglophone crisis. That's one thing. And then pursue a continued and inclusive dialogue, Meaning that the women are recognizing that the MND failed.
Yeah, the women acknowledge that the major national dialogue failed.
Because after the MND, we are still having killings here and there. I hope Jerome is happy with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jerome share the women point on that.
Yes.
It is not me
an inclusive dialogue should address core issues.
Yes.
There's address core issues around peace, humanity, solidarity, and solidarity. You know, when it comes to solidarity, you know what's happening. We have a lot of hate and the rest going on right now. And then ensure the equal and permanent involvement of women peace mediators. I bet you there is no way you take a decision to end this war without having women at the head of it, and it will not it will go to waste. Emmanuel, you bet me that.
We let her finish. She's talking about the resolutions.
Yeah, those
I hope you are listening to the resolutions.
Yes, and then we are advocating for an additional and existing centers of psychosocial support and trauma healing. That's what we noticed in the hall. There are women who. Oh, come on! I'm talking about a psychosocial center. There are people who are suffering.
How many
we're told that
that is what we want. That they should make it functional, because we don't have it. We have people who are going through all of those things, and the war is not just losing. The war is coping.
I'm happy that you are acknowledging the fact that the women brought out a salient point that we need.
Yes, imagine our kids. They see all kinds of pictures on internet today.
They differentiate the sounds of guns from amber
and military.
Madam, continue.
Which is really bad. And then the women are also asking for making the DDR centers functional and responsive.
So it means the women acknowledge that it's not really responsive, it's not really functional.
All right, so that's just some few points that I would like to state, and that's how they look at it when it comes to advocating for peace.
I hope those watching us, you've gotten some of the fallout, some of the main points that the women acknowledge that the major national dialogue was not effective, that they needed more, and also they needed a
social center for
victims who have trauma issues, that's post-traumatic stress, and also the women are calling for an inclusive dialogue to resolve the conflict, meaning they acknowledge that the conflict is still on, and these are just proposals. And the women want to react to the
and they say the dialogue is continuous.
It's continuous.
It's not so it's just one day thing.
That's where I don't agree. Before we talk about dialogue that continues, let the real thing be done. Tamai, do you think that this government does not know what to do?
Do you think that the government can achieve it in one day?
No, listen. It's not about one day.
All right.
I'm very okay with the resolutions.
Yeah.
Those resolutions are better than the resolutions of the national monologue that took place in one day. Because these ones came from...
So can you now applaud the women?
Please clap
for us. I have always applauded. I started by saying that the initiative was good.
Yeah, that's
it was good as gold.
The problem is he is thinking about
the people
who respond to it.
The end product of it is what matters. You see, those resolutions are better than the resolutions of the national monologue. Remember, I told you that.
National dialogue.
Because you can confuse the audience.
No,
listen, what took place in Yaoundé
on September
2019 was national monologue. We all know it. Never pretend to say dialogue. Now, that's why I told you that when they were going there, nobody drafted a proposition that was talking about a special status. Because special status per se, and per the constitution of Cameroon, driving from 1961 to 1972 is inscribed there as a people who came back with special characteristics. So it was not a product of the national dialogue. That one should be known. What I was saying, Tama, is that
they pursued a dialogue.
Yes. The government knows very well that if today they decide to release all those people who were arrested in the context of the Anglophone crisis, they grant amnesty to those who left Cameroon because of the crisis and those who left before the crisis because of political witch hunting.
And also the political prisoners.
Yeah, and the political prisoners. Peace will come back. That one, I guarantee you. Listen, in a month's time, the government knows all that. But the problem now is that those who are feeding fat from the war, because that war has economic benefits to the war lords. They know that if they do all these things and the war comes to an end, they would have been disconnected from their various benefits. They also know that if these women keep coming strong as they are coming like this, opening the eyes of the whole world, making the world to discover that this is where we could go to, and if we don't buy over these women to stop them earlier, it will add to the because any good proposal in Cameroon now mismanaged by the government adds more weight to the crisis in Cameroon. Because when you are giving a good proposal and you people didn't have, the population is watching, they are following you, they are taking into account. When the government fails to implement them, they keep blaming, they blame on the government, and the anger, the tension, the social, the political, and the economic, it keeps rising. So what do we do? It is good to propose, but at times it is good to act than only proposing. I don't think that.
So what will you advise the women to do?
The number
by
of
acting, what do you mean?
The number of,
because that's the pressure.
The number of women that we have in Cameroon today. If the government gets up one morning and discover that all the women were on the streets, that they littered all the major streets, the government cannot kill everybody. In 2 weeks on the streets, the government will come to their senses. I know that we are living
which is something which is not, first of all, real, because you cannot say all the women.
Yes,
people have their political lineages and their beliefs,
and that is why I come now to correct you, where you told me that you did not, you people did not want to involve the Kawalas because of the
I am official letter to parties.
To parties.
Yes,
but remember that the Minister of Women and Social Empowerment is a CPDM
minister.
She was there as a member of government. She was not there as a CPDM minister. When she was introduced, nobody said CPDM minister wing. That is why I'm telling you that in that very all, you could have
Cameroon, you cannot disassociate a minister in Cameroon from the CPDM, madam.
Why? And then you can disassociate other people from the political parties. Can you because I look at Madam Kawara not only as a political figure,
we should have been looking about the idea of coming together. We neutralize their political affiliations, just like you people pretended to neutralize that of the minister and consider that she was there as a government minister. Now, if the Kawalas came there and you people took them as members of your initiative, not members of a political party, if they accepted, good and fine. If they did not accept, you people would have been having a reason now.
I want to ask you a question.
So I want to think that.
Let me say something.
Madam, please,
you interrupted me earlier. I'll interrupt you now. I'm begging you.
Go on.
Say something. When you talked about Kawala, is already well known in this domain.
Yeah.
The women that made up majority of the 1,000 initiative were women that you and I don't know. Do you know why? No. You're taking people from the base. You're making you want to make these women involved, and that's why I said anybody who had the chance and you were there and you're part of you want peace. This is something like this can't be happening in Douala, and I'm in Douala knowing my love and what I want. And what I support, and I don't go there. But for people have their reasons why they didn't go there. Some people, they were not invited officially. Some people, they were out of the country. Some people, they traveled, and the rest. And it's true.
And some people
they were not invited. And that's how most
you cannot invite all.
Even when Southwest Northwest women went to the field to march, some people did not go to march because they said they were not invited.
And
for God's sake, it's a effort.
Those of Southwest ended up being cornered somewhere with envelopes. I hope you know the saga. And that's how it died down.
No,
today, have you heard of it again?
No, they are part of it. They're part of it.
No,
part of it.
Let's limit
the Southwest women were well represented.
Have you heard them again?
Okay,
they were part of the convention.
Let's come back to the focus. Good afternoon, Mr. Good afternoon. I am Akwe Joel from Bamenda, please. What I want to say is that this problem cannot be resolved only at the national level. The problem needs foreign intervention and other world bodies such as the UN, the AU. I am saying it because many people are seeing this crisis still at the national level. This one read, good afternoon to you in the studio. The women conference cannot work. Let them just try Cameroon. Let us just try. Cameroon is a okay. Thank you. Good afternoon, dear panelists. Thank you for your educative program. Peace can only come from the two parties fighting on the field. They can only invite a third party to help resolve these conflicts. Good afternoon. God had hardened the heart of Pharaoh while Moses encountered him. Has God also hardened the heart of this? Okay. Your message is passed. I appreciate the man in the studio. Justice before peace. Jarvis, not the reverse. Jarvis Tank is coming from Congo in Bamenda. This one reads, thank you, Madam Kiven, for your representing the women. We want to say we've learned a lot. Not knowing what the conference was initially, I think it is a step in the right direction. However, the women should encourage and should tell us. The women should tell us what way forward will they enforce their resolutions after this. This other one read is coming from Matthew in Boya. A great presentation there, Madam Brenda. We want to appreciate it. What way forward are you guys going to use to ensure that your resolutions are followed? This other one read, he says, I am Thomas. I'm just interested in knowing the way forward after presenting. What if the government refuses to adhere? What next? Let me go on those send us WhatsApp messages. He says, good afternoon to you all in the studio. I see that the woman is already compromised because the women had to sit. The women has is the message is not clear. Please give us a clearer message. This one coming from good day panelists. There shall be no peace without justice, coming from Emperor on Ground Zero. Good day. How can you people be advocating for peace without any roadmap? Going out to the march or call for convention is not a step. You people know that the people want. You people know what the people want and what is right. You know what is needed. What else have you people achieved from the said convention than just showcasing than just being showcasing? It's not about women being part of the mediation team. It is about women forcing the regime to stop this war.
Exactly. We want to see men go and to the streets and start walking. Then we'll follow the men and start going
men
behind
have been
them.
Fighting too much.
Why you want fighting? Go to the street, because what women are starting something and you're talking. You've been talking from the beginning. All their efforts, you're always watering them down. And now, no, but you have. I'm not talking about you, Emma. I'm talking about some men who just sit back and then they talk behind their keyboards.
He says he has been marching every day on the street.
I march for Cameroon every day. Our mothers will leave their villages, run and say, okay, we want to join our voices for this. I bet you, I think people don't understand that even if, I keep saying this, even if you might know at the back of your mind that the people concerned will take this thing and sweep it because of their own gains out of it, you should not stop to raise your voice, because tomorrow you'll be held accountable. Tomorrow when people will be talking about situation, they will say the women sat quiet.
Okay.
Yes.
We are slowly but surely coming running out of time. Diwam Emmanuel, it's been a fruitful discussion. What suggestions do you have on what way forward do you think the women can, fully implement to ensure that their points move on smoothly? You just appreciated that it is better, the resolutions arrived at is better than the one in the September 30th, 2019 Major National Dialogue.
Tama, I want to look at it from a different angle now. I think even though it's a women's initiative, men should have a push behind these women. We have to give them a pat on their back to encourage them morally, financially, and even materially. If we have ideas that can help this as initiative to go through, I think it's time for us. She has accused us a lot, and of course, I think we need to give our support to them. But Tama, you know that in a war situation, we can sing dialogue from morning to evening for 100 years. I will not come. What will bring us peace will be compromise from both sides. If we keep thinking that this side was wrong or right, and the other side was better than this side, it is time to give peace a chance. It is time for both the government and our brothers, whom out of frustration picked up guns, see reasons to let peace reign.
Okay.
Of course, peace has no price, and with peace, development and other things will come.
Good day, good afternoon, Jarvis. Ma Evelyn from Boya, please, I need the number of the Iron Lady in the studio and the name, please, from Boya, Evelyn Sue. Is Madame Kiven, and at the end of the program you can call me. I'll talk with her. If I can send you a number of Madame Sue Evelyn from Boya, please. Just after this program you can call me. I'll talk to with her if I can send a number. Good afternoon to you in the studio, but please, Madam, always allow the gentleman in the suit to conclude his point. He is a genius, but he has been the woman has been interrupting her.
He has interrupted me. Yes.
Many appreciation to this debate and participants. Please let the women change their theme for advocating for peace to advocating for justice. They are putting the cart before the horse, just seeking for justice. Peace will follow. Simit from Boya. Madam Kiven, what way forward then? After this, what next?
I want to believe that the 3 days in Yaoundé was another form of building capacity for advocating for peace. It's true, when we talk about peace, peace goes along when women come together. So I have this belief, and I keep saying it, that even if you know that this thing might be swept under the carpet, don't stop. When you pray to God, sometimes you know that the answer is not coming right away, but you don't stop. You keep praying, pray and pray. And that is why even you don't anyway, you don't have to relent your efforts. Keep pushing ahead. Keep using this platform like Mr. Duwom keeps using to state his facts. And that's how some of us do it. We're on media platforms and we talk. Yeah. Yes. So women are doing their own in some other way. Okay. So use your corner and preach peace. Peace goes along with justice.
Okay, this one with men are not bringing down the women's idea in any way. We just want to let you know that many people have tried as you women are doing with their initiative. You have come up with look back at the time of Nijon Fundi, we look at the time of Nijon Fundi, older women called the Takembeng march even naked, but nothing happened. It's either you are the government or forget it. Clement, it's either you are for the government or forget it. Clement Bosongi.
Don't stop.
Bamenda.
Keep doing it.
And of
Don't
course,
stop.
we want to say thank you. We want to thank you, Madam Kiven, for coming. It's been a privilege to have you.
Thank you so much, Jarvis, and thank you, Emmanuel. When I saw him at first, since we are in the same forum, I knew that we were going to fight before we leave this studio today. But I've come to understand that it has been very cordial, and we've all understood from where each and every person is coming from. I get his points very well, and thank you so much, Jarvis, for handling the program so peacefully.
It's Viva and Sam, no?
Viva.
We are living together.
We are living together.
Ziwu Emmanuel, thank you for coming.
It's always a pleasure, and I encourage Madam Kivin for standing up tall in the midst of many women. Madam, let your height increase again.
Amen.
Hi, I am John from Germany. There is no both sides. The Cameroon government will not discuss with any Amber believer. A peaceful Northwest will benefit only the people who live in Northwest and not Yaoundé. This one is coming from John in Germany. Thank all those of you who took out time to send us your messages. If in case you want to be a participant of House of Commons, The numbers are on your screen, 676431384. Contact me and I will send you the theme ahead of time, and so that we can have a fruitful discussion. This program is rebroadcast every Sunday at exactly 10:30 and every Monday at exactly 9:30. It comes up live every Sunday at 12 to 1:30, and it will be on our YouTube channel, which is called BT Media Group. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. For all of our programs are on our YouTube channel, and you can come to our Facebook page, My Media Prime, Twitter, My Media Prime, Instagram, My Media Prime. I leave you with this: no matter the matter, what matter is your matter. No matter the matter, what matter is your matter. And what should matter for you this day is that stand together for what you believe, work for what must be done, and love each other in all that you do. To all my people I want, spread the peace, my brother. Thank you for watching, and goodbye from Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. Feng Gudrong Bange, Koto Bonamusadi.